Hi, everyone. Come on in, say hello. Come on in, say hello. Hello, Jimmy Creek. It's been a while I saw you on live. Hello, Miss Adina. How are you? Thanks for sharing the update with me today. It's always good to see that. Hello, hello. Hi, Facebook and TikTok family. Hi, everyone. How are you? I hope that package was what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Hello, Jim Crate. I'm good. How are you? Hello, Mr. Woolley. Hello, Eleanor Sanctuary. My Cece from another mother. Hi, everyone. Hello, TikTok family. Come on in, say hello. Come on in, say hello. Come on in, say hello. Hi, everybody. Yeah, can you tell I just rebraided my? You can tell when I rebraid my hair because it's like my whole forehead is pulled back, and I have a big forehead. Like we see my well, I was going to say we see my kids, but I ain't gonna put that on myself. If you see my ex-husband's forehead, although Nikki, but I ain't fine because my son is probably watching, so he's going to share with his dad. Like, she was talking about you this evening. um, you should have sent me a video of your reaction. You have no idea how happy I was when you sent that to me. Because remember, we're talking about it that hopefully, we had that plan that one was going out, we wanted the other to come in, and I'm telling you, the way God just steps in when you least expect. You're making plans, and God says, "You know what? I hear you. I'm going to make it happen." Hello, Mr. Femi Speechless. And so, just knowing you don't have to worry about, that again. That is all I can ask for. The forehead we give you, ladies, standing attention all the time. Oh, I'm telling you, a lot of kids. Thank God he's good looking. I mean, look at my kids. But then again, I already said the kids look like me, but can't never tell your ex-husband like he's good looking. But I mean, but the forehead, no, that's on him. I won't even take credit for that one because, but I ain't. I know some people know him here. Hello, shame, because y'all just know how to do nosy stuff. But hi, everyone. If you're joining us for the first time, let us know where you're joining from. Come on in, say hello. As Miss Eleanor Sanctuary will say, this is the most positive platform in social space, something along those lines. My name is Attorney Abisola Adebola Olale. I have to put that Adebola there because that's the name my father gave me. God rest his soul. I am an immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. Got an immigration case. It was a case stuff that week. Yeah, welcome over to the most positive immigration space on social media platforms. Safest space. What the hell is my glasses? Safest space. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. So if you're just joining us for the first time, let us know where you're joining us from. Come on in, say hello. We talk all things immigration. We encourage one another. We pray for one another. We share good news. That's what we always look forward to. And even if it's not news that we expected to hear, we still rejoice because the Bible says in all things, give thanks. We will give thanks in spite of the situation because we know that our praises will turn things around. If you hear about God on this platform, it is part of who I am. Can't deny that. I pray, I'm a woman of faith, but it doesn't stop him from cussing you out. So that's why I can never be a pastor's wife. Just saying, I reserve the rights to cuss. That's it. Because if you're a pastor's wife, you have to be like, I'm doing nobody's role models. And role models, why? Because a Niger girl in me would come out very, very quickly. But anyway, my forehead was acting pregnant when I get pregnant. I'm telling you, Zen Sanctuary has the best lines ever. But if you're just joining us for the first time, let us know where you're joining us from. We do this every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everywhere else, I don't know. But one thing, though, y'all need to stop calling when you have an appointment. Y'all need to stop calling y'all need to stop calling the office and saying that Cecilia, sure, wait, she's not here. I've been waiting on Zoom for 15 minutes. Because we've done everything possible to let you say check your the time zone is right there. So sometimes you may be an hour ahead, sometimes you may be 2 hours behind. So before you say until you show up, please make sure you've checked your time zone and say, hey, Miss Sophia, how are you? But anyway, immigration attorney Abisola Adebol Olale. We're based in Alabama, but we represent immigration clients in all 50 states. So if you've got an immigration case that we can help you with, we will be glad to help you. 334-341. It's pinned on the page. I still had 3 people. I had 7 consults today, and out of the 7, 3 people was like, Chantal was like, one person was 2:30, and he was very, very fierce. Like he had been waiting for 15 minutes. I didn't show up. And so he called and like, I have an appointment at 2:30. And she's not here. Like, sir, it's 1:45 in Alabama. He goes, but how would I know? Well, it's in the email confirmation. It says in the please note all times in Alabama time zone. And so when it mentioned like anyway, so that's what I'm saying it again. Please check the time zone so you're not frustrated for nothing, because then it ends up like, okay, I'm on time, I'm just saying. But we'll be glad to represent you in your immigration case. 334-341-4475. That's our contact information. olalayelawfirm.com, info@olalayelawfirm.com. And same number on WhatsApp. You can reach us WhatsApp. We do not take calls on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is strictly text messages. If you need to speak to somebody, you've got to call a direct line, and you'll be able to speak to someone when you call. 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, and weekends, Lydia takes care of our social media platforms and messages. So we try to be available as much as we can, but weekends, for the most part, I try to let my staff just, but whoever wants to work, that's on them. But anyway, let's talk immigration. Please share, like, follow, subscribe at Olale Immigration and all platforms. Hi, Ms. Mazzella, how are you? So we talk all things immigration. So let us know where you're joining us from. What we do is, the system is if we have a topic, I talk about it, and then if we have some time, we take some questions. Sometimes we'll have questions the whole hour. I try to keep it an hour so as we can talk as much immigration stuff as possible. If you've got something to share, this is a platform you want to share, or if you have a prayer request, let people pray with you and for you, and see God move in your favor. So let's talk immigration. What are we talking about tonight? So if you have a question, put it in the comment section. So that's how I go through questions on each platform. LPR spouse or U.S. citizen spouse, wait or file. That's our topic tonight. LPR spouse or versus U.S. citizen spouse, wait or file. What did I mean by that? Okay, so we get, or actually say, well, people call in and I get that question a whole lot. Like, I'm married to a green card holder. Should they file for me, or should I wait until they become a citizen? So that's basically what this is about. So LPR spouse versus U.S. citizen spouse. Should I wait in the sense of wait for them to become a citizen and then to file for me at that point? Or can they go ahead and file for me and start my green card application? Thank you, Mr. Sanctuary. Here, there is no set answer to that. It's not yes, go ahead and file. It's not no, you can't. It depends on each person's specific situation. Your specific facts will determine what your best option will be. So let's start with that. Your spouse is a legal permanent resident, right? We're talking of someone who is physically present in the United States. So you are the spouse of a legal green card holder, and your green card holder spouse is looking to file a petition on your behalf. You want to know, should they file for you as a green card holder, or should they have to wait till they file for citizenship, become a citizen, and then file? The first question you have to ask yourself is this: what is your status? If the goal, or let's back up. What is the goal? Is the goal to get your green card in the country without having to leave? Is the goal for you to, you're just here on a non-immigrant visa, whatever the case may be, but you're not really keen on getting the green card in the country? For the most part, a lot of people want to stay in the United States and apply an adjust status, meaning apply for the green card, rather than going to an embassy or a consulate, right? So what is your status? That's number one. You as a spouse of a green card holder, if you are in a valid non-immigrant status, then you've got the option where so just to be clear, there is a difference between the I-130 that your spouse would file and the green card application that you will file. The I-130, it doesn't matter what your status is. The I-130 is the underlying petition. That doesn't require you to be in status or out of status. That's irrelevant to an I-130 petition, which is a spousal visa application, a visa petition. What matters is, or where your status matters is when you want to file the green card application and whether or not you are eligible to do that in the country without having to leave. So you are married to a green card holder spouse, so they can file the I-130. That's another problem. The question is, are you able to file a green card application based on the I-130? If you are in a valid status and the priority date, meaning the date USCIS receives your green card holder spouse's I-130 that was filed on your behalf, if that date, that receipt date becomes current, meaning USCIS has started working on green card applications that were received on or before that I-130 date, and you are in a valid, hold on one second, people. CJ. Sorry, everybody. And you are in a valid status, and that priority date becomes current, then you become eligible to apply for your green card. That means it doesn't matter that your spouse is not a citizen at that point. Because you are in a valid non-immigrant status, you haven't overstayed your visa. That means you are eligible to adjust your status, meaning apply for the green card. Your priority date has become current. USCIS is working on cases, meaning applications that were green card applications filed on the day that your I-130 was received. Then you are able to now apply for your green card. And sometimes the F2A category, which is the spouse of a green card holder, would say C in the visa bulletin. C means it is current. That means if you say C, that means you can file concurrently with the I-130 petition as long as you are in a valid status. That's what matters. So if you are in that situation, then it doesn't matter whether or not your spouse has become a citizen or not. You're able to file everything concurrently. The good thing is, once you file your green card application, USCIS issues your receipt. Everything was properly filed. You're not required to maintain status after the filing has been received. So that's an advantage of that. Now, conversely, you're married to a green card holder, but you are out of status. You're not out of status. You've overstayed your B1, B2 visa. You've overstayed your H1B visa. You've overstayed, your F1 visa, but you're married to a green card holder spouse, and they file an I-130. Are you still able to file a green card application based on them filing an I-130 for you, even if you have overstayed your authorized status in the United States? Short answer is you cannot. You're not eligible. Once that your I-94 on your non-immigrant visa has expired, you're married to a green card holder, your I-94 is expired, the I-130 can be filed, but the I-485, which is a green card application, cannot be filed. You would have to consular process. And in order for you to know whether or not, if it's safe for you to leave the country without a waiver, you have to calculate how long you have been out of status for. If you've been out of status, meaning your I-94 has expired for less than 180 days, you haven't triggered any permanent bar, but you still cannot apply for your green card in the country. If your I-94 has expired for more than 180 days, then you have triggered the 3-year permanent bar, and that means that you will need a waiver. If your I-94 has expired more than 1 year, you have triggered the 10-year permanent bar, you're going to need a waiver of the unlawful presence. If you are married to a green card holder spouse and you have been out of status, then in that situation, that is the perfect example where asking yourself, should you wait or file? The I-130 can be filed by your spouse, no problem. Should you not wait for them to become a citizen? The truth of the matter is, if you don't want to leave the country and apply for a waiver, you don't have any other option but to wait for your green card holder spouse to become a citizen. Once they become a citizen, whether you've overstayed, whether you've worked without authorization, as long as you came in legally, then and you're married to a citizen spouse, or you married your green card holder spouse that filed for you at the I-130, the I-130 gets approved while you're waiting, or you guys are trying to decide what to do. They file for citizenship, they become a citizen. At that point, you are taken away. You're no longer classified in any preference category. You now become an immediate relative, and immediate relatives are exempt from any permanent bar that is as a result of having overstayed your visa, as a result of working without authorization, as a result of violating your non-immigrant visa status. That makes a difference. So asking yourself whether or not being married to a green card holder spouse, should you file at that point, that's the analysis you have to go through. You've got to know that at the end of the day, are you eligible to apply for the green card? And if you want to know whether you're eligible to apply for the green card, that's how you analyze that. Now, and that's a whole lot. And until you're yeah, that's what I do for a living. I mean, my dad used to say, thank God you found something to do with that mouth. Yeah. But it obviously is going to be your best option is to sit down with a lawyer, make sure they're able to give you the right analysis and give you, because one of the people that I consulted with today, they found one of the street lawyers told them the mother filed for, the daughter is on an H-1B working, so she's in valid status. Mother is a green card holder. Mother's a green card holder. And so mother became a green card holder not too long ago. Daughter works on an H-1B visa. Some street lawyer told them, hey, yes, because now you have a green card, you can actually go ahead and file for your daughter. So they did just that. Guess what? USCIS took the I-130 petition out of it and returned everything else. So the work authorization, and so not only so they told, because she's in valid status, so their analysis was that yes, she can file. The problem with that is this: unless that category, meaning, and this is someone who is over the age of 21, you have to look at the category you fall under. So F2B category, that's a child over green card holder that's 21 years or older. Until USCIS, that category has to say it is current, or the dates they're working on is earlier or later than the dates your I-130 was filed. You can't do concurrent filing. It doesn't work that way. And they said, they went and got the rejected package. They set up a consultation with me today, went through this analysis with them. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's why you hire a lawyer, not a street lawyer. So the more you know, people, make sure you know your analysis first, first of all. And if your first question, if you know you don't have any status, it's not even one of people. And you're married to a green card holder spouse, please understand that you need them to become a citizen. However, to every rule, there's an exception. To every rule, there's an exception. However, the exception to you being required to be in status when you are married to a green card holder is if you are filing a VAW petition. So if you're filing a VAW petition, and you've overstayed your visa, you have worked without authorization, then if you are going through a regular marriage case, you will be barred from getting the green card in the country. If you are filing a self-petition, abuse-based green card petition, which is a VAW case, and your abusive spouse is a green card holder, it doesn't matter whether they're a green card holder or a citizen. Everyone, whether you're married to an abusive citizen spouse or an abusive LP or spouse, everyone is exempt from that unlawful presence and unauthorized work. So that's the exception to being required to maintain status if you are married to a green card holder spouse. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote, people. Okay, I hope that helps. And then when in doubt, just consult with a lawyer so they can talk to. And I had to write. It's sweet. I love my consults. But those one I had today. So we're trying to figure something out. The guy has been trying to figure something out in his very, very peculiar case. And it was like, I don't know. I don't want to mess this up, but I need. And I was like, well, how my brain works is like, this is my suggestion. And it was like a light bulb moment for him. And the guy just went off. Sister lawyer, I need. It was so funny because this is a guy when he's almost 60s and like, you have no idea. I mean, what is it about? Well, if you're 50 and above, yeah, I call you about because I'm still in my 40s. So y'all, if you say, mommy, I will knock your teeth out tonight. So I still my kid. But just knowing that light bulb moment for him was like, you gotta be kidding me. I can do that. And so you just never know what you can get a drink. I always keep water with me. I always, because I talk all the time. Mr. Peggy's and mommy. And all aloud. But I'm mommy now. I remember when my mom turned 40. I was like, my mommy did that well. But now I was like, yeah, at 46, I'm like, 40 is not, being in your 40s is not that serious as we thought it was then. But anyway, it is what it is. Okay, so questions. Please do not repeat questions. Please do not. Mr. Endless Sanctuary has been kind enough to put the ground rules there. Last time was seamless. It was just great. Going through the questions easily and being able to go through that just like that. That made it so much easier. So please do that. I would really appreciate that. Once again, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we get on. Okay. Hi, I can't wait to consult with you tomorrow. Listening from Texas. All right, Mr. Rebecca, looking forward to that. Can't wait to meet you as well. Thank you for scheduling. I'll meet you tomorrow. I haven't looked at my schedule tomorrow. Listen, my motto is sufficient for the day is a trouble thereof, as the Bible says. The only thing I know I have to make sure is because I do criminal defense and divorces and family law stuff in Alabama. So if I have court days, I have to check that. If not, voila, tennis enough for the day. But anyway, so I will see you tomorrow, Mr. America. RM is joining from Maryland. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Emmanuel. How are you? Thank you for joining. Thank you, everybody. Very much appreciated. Please remember to subscribe to YouTube channel. That would be very much appreciated. Let me hide this. Okay. Hey, TikTok family. What's going on? Please do not repeat questions. I would very much appreciate that. Hello, Nini Caesar. Nice to meet you. Let's see. Joining from the Bahamas. Thank you. Welcome in. I love that. I went to the Bahamas earlier this year. It's really beautiful. Let's see. Trying to make sure I don't skip. Okay, everybody's still joining in. Okay. After how long possible to apply VAR? What do you mean after how long possible? I hope this did not affect the lighting. Okay. What do you mean after how long possible to apply VAR? I'm not sure I understand. I don't want to say your name. I'm not sure I understand your question. Well, I'm not still going to say your name, but we just said don't repeat questions, and you've not put the same question like 5 times. So even if you now tell me what you mean, I'm going to skip it. I submitted my EB2 NIW last week while I was in the US on the B1, B2. Will that be a problem? I can speculate to whether there will be a problem. I as long as, and what I would just disclaimer, general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. So I can't talk to your about your case. What I would just say is, as long as there is no reason to believe that you had what's it called? You misrepresented your intention when you came into the country. That's usually the main concern. So that's the only thing I would say. And then keep in mind that the EB2 category, starting in because right now USCIS there and embassies, they're out of nobody's getting any new approvals this month anymore, because their visas are for preference categories, not for immediate relatives, meaning spouses, parents, children of citizens don't wait for visas. They always have visa available. But preference category, no one is getting anything approved this month because they have utilized all the visas for the fiscal year. So starting October is when they have new visa numbers available. And starting in October, USCIS is going to be progressing 6 months ahead for EB2 category. But if you just filed yours last week, you're going to be required to maintain status, and hopefully get approved. You're going to be required to maintain status up until you submit your application for green card, or you haven't been out of status for more than 180 days. Okay, so 1 second, people. I'm just trying to get something here. I just saw something in the corner of my eye from Isaiah. My rockstar paralegal. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's see. I hope that answers your question. Okay, you're leaving the country. Okay. So did you indicate that you're going to be applying for, when you submitted, did you indicate that you're going to be applying for your immigrant visa at the embassy? That's what you indicated, I'm assuming, right? Is that what you selected? If that's the case, then that takes care of any perceived misrepresentation, because now you're going back and fulfilling the requirements of your B1, B2. So it's been 5 months now. I did not get work permit yet through marriage. So what's your question? Okay. Well, Mr. Ameka, since you're meeting me tomorrow, then we'll just talk about that tomorrow. How about that? Hello, Miss Christiana. How are you? Good news soon in Jesus' name. From your mouth to God's ears. Amen. So shall it be. So shall it be. Yes, got to speak it into existence. That's the main thing. Okay, let's go to Instagram. I indicated that I would apply for the green card in the US. That's when the priority date was available. I indicated that I would apply for the green card in the US. Okay, so hello, Miss Delia. How are you? If you indicated that you're going to be applying for the green card in the US, I usually don't recommend that, especially when you're going to be leaving the country, because then, keep in mind whatever information you enter with USCIS is accessible by the Department of State's embassy. So hopefully that's not going to now prevent you from coming back, and I hope not. But if that was what you indicated and you're going back, and it just depends on what your plan is. If you're planning to stay back in your home country, and apply for immigrant visa. When it becomes available, then what you're going to do is once your NIW is approved, as you're going to have to file an I-824 to inform USCIS to transfer your file to the embassy that you want them to transfer it to. Okay. I have sponsored my wife before 2 years, still no interview. Um, a lot of embassies are backlogged. It's a lot of, and even there was a time where people were now, even the embassy was saying if you could transfer your file to another embassy to do that, and consulate in another country to do that. But even that, a lot of people, because of the number of applicants that are doing that, those embassies now are so backlogged. So you're almost like at a standstill. So yeah, unless there is a reason to ask them to expedite the interview for your relative. Okay, let's see. Those speak lawyers always loud. It's not even listen, loud or wrong. Hey. Certainly, it's one emotion. I'm telling you. Let's see. This is why I used to have a bottle of water. I always have water. Like, even when because I talk until yo. But I think I'm just someone who loves. I stay hydrated. You gotta hydration is good for the skin. You get you want if you don't want the black to crack, you gotta make sure you're taking care of it. Yeah. So you gotta, and if you live in the south, you better be carrying with you a bottle of water with you all the time. A question for a friend, Miss Peggy Dale. What's a question for your friend? I mean, like we're alone. Yes, Miss Peggy, same here. Looking forward. Absolutely. How long will it take to get a travel parole if found? So anything about how long, go on uscis.gov/processing times. That's going to tell you how long things are taking. Yeah. Can I file for citizenship if I didn't get my 10 years green card because I divorced after 2 years? Can I file for citizenship if I didn't get my 10-year green card? Because I'm not sure I'm following your question. What do you mean can you file for citizenship if you didn't get your 10-year green card? So um do you have a pending 751? How long has that been pending? When did you become a green card holder? I mean, I'm there's a lot of there's a lot of missing information there. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. So, hold on one second. In the country, I have something. Does my sponsor's criminal record affect my green card? Um, I guess your. Let me know if that's what you're asking. You want to find out if your petitioning spouse, if they have a record, will they be prevented from filing an immigrant petition on your behalf? Is that what you're asking? User 98 something something something. Is that what you're asking? Hello, Adeoju. Is that what you're asking? Yes or no? Well, while we wait for you to see that. If I file an I-130 and 485, do I need to file an I-7? You mean 765 to marriage base? So the question is, do you want to work? Because the 765 is your work authorization application. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to work while your case is pending, then you would, it will be strongly advisable for you to file that. 𝐸𝐫𝐸𝐲𝐸, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. You're welcome, Brendan. Brendan. Hope I didn't murder your name. Okay. See, that makes it a lot easier to just go through that. Cox Fame from Houston. Welcome in. A lot of people joining from Houston, from Texas. Okay, not a whole lot of questions today. Hello, Emmanuel. Y'all don't have questions? Asylum was approved in 2018. Congratulations, that's been 6 years. Applied for green card in October 2019, but it was not approved until 2022. And it states residence since 2021. Please, when is it due to apply for? You mean when are you eligible to apply for citizenship? The dates on your green card, residence since date. So it was approved in 2022, but you get a year credit when you are granted a green card. When you apply, you have a green card through asylum. So you're given that 1 year period of being an asylee, yada yada yada. So you get that 1 year credit towards your residency period. So basically, you'll be eligible to apply for citizenship 4 years from when you actually get your green card, because you got it in 2022, but counting from 2021. So in your case, 2021, 5 years from then, 90 days before, whatever the date is, sometime in 2026, 90 days before that 5 year mark is when you'll be able to file for citizenship. That's one of the advantages of asylum. Being a green card holder for 5 years and I filed for I-751. Okay, so you have a pending 751. And if you've had the green card for 5 years, then yes, even if your 751 is not approved yet, you're still eligible to apply for your citizenship once you hit that 3 year or 5 year mark. And if you're in the military 1 year, and you don't even have to you don't have to file the 751 if you're in active duty. You prima facie withdraw and denied health insurance and food stamps in your state. Are you serious? That's a new one, Miss Mazala. I'm surprised though. I'm really surprised. You may want to. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of what kind of lawyer may help you, because that would be the first time I've heard anyone being denied of those benefits, because that's the whole point of having the prima facie determination. Email me. Let me know, because I know your case. So, hello, MTV05. How are you? Why does my 485 have a priority date of my old I-130 if I apply for VAL full fact? Because USCIS, they're supposed to transfer your priority dates from your I-130 to your VAL case. The goal, the objective of that is to have that VAL petition be adjudicated faster. They just don't do it half of the time. So that's why, because that's your priority date recaptured from the I-130. I hope that answers your question. Miss Adebinke, does that clarify things for you? When you get invited for a marriage interview, is it for the I-130 or for the I-485? The letter or receipt is 485. What does that mean? Does it mean there's something wrong with my case? No, you're going to usually receive the I-485 because you are the one asking for a green card. So they would send you an interview notice with I-485, but also notices come with your spouse if that's the basis of your green card. So basically, the I-130 is the good faith questions are attached to or tied to the I-130. Admissibility questions are tied to your I-485. The I-485, however, will not be adjudicated until the I-130. So that's why, because it's the goal, the end goal is to get the green card. You get a letter with the I-485, but it is still going to be a humble interview with questions relating to the good faith of your marriage and then admissibility issues. If someone already submitted VAWA case and filed for green card but have not been given work authorization and the lawyer is not doing anything, well, how do you know your lawyer is not doing anything? Can she change lawyer? The question, how do I have to play devil's advocate? How do you know the lawyer is not doing anything? Because I have clients who also tell me, hey, this is Laura Kilafesh, and I'm like, if you want me to submit an expedite request on your behalf, that's not part of standard representation. You're going to have to pay, legal fees. Some people don't want to pay, and they'll wait. Okay, and then number one, number two, make sure that how long has it been submitted for? If your work authorization was the right category, which is the C9, that you should make sure it was the C9 that was selected, not the C31, and it's still within the normal processing time. What is the lawyer supposed to do? Triple, what's the lawyer supposed to do? I'm asking, what do you think the lawyer should do if your case is still within the normal processing time? So, just because, listen, we put a post up earlier, even for especially VAWA cases. I'm sure if those people in the VAWA office, anybody who pulls up the email and sees my email, I'm almost certain probably all of my 𝒂𝒐𝒓𝒌𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, because it's like, oh no, we can't deal with this person anymore. When they tell you that, quit with the multiple requests. And they sent me an email on Friday, and yesterday they approved the advance word that they refused to give us since May, because I was like, but imagine, I've been emailing them since May, 4 freaking months ago. And they can only imagine how many emails I've sent them in the 4 months, and I'm not going to say, but you go figure out if they take the time to say it is not necessary. Just send us multiple requests. Like, And I'm sure they were like, you know what? We don't want another request from this lady. Please produce the done document. And they did. That's all I was asking for. But guess what? It took them 4 months. 4 months. Yeah. So let's see. What's the time? Okay. Hey, lawyer, question is it true someone filed VAWA don't get travel document if he also has asylum pending? If your asylum is pending in court, then you can't, USCIS will deny your advance parole application. If their asylum is pending with USCIS, nothing stops you from applying for a travel document. Disclaimer, general information. So, do you have to go to a naturalization interview with your spouse under the 3-year rule? The interview notice doesn't tell you to come with your spouse, but then you get there without the spouse, and the officer asks you, why didn't you come with your spouse? Because that's the whole basis. They're saying you're in marital union with the spouse. Most of the time, they won't ask your spouse any question. They just want to see if you're actually still in marital union with the spouse. So safest bet, go with your spouse. He said it is not necessary. They said it's not as so like, listen, I'm just trying, just respond. That's all. And because I require 3 days. Give me 3 days before, if you bombard me with, there's someone that was going to treat in my services, and I was like, okay, and the person sent me 8 emails in less than 24 hours. 8 freaking emails. Like, you don't even understand. I'm a full-time mother. I'm a full-time lawyer. You've got sometimes emergent. Sometimes you have. I'm also a deputy attorney general in the state of Alabama for Department of Human Resources. Last week I had 2 emergency hearings. You just never know. And then you send someone eight emails in one day. I mean, come on, that's the height of disrespect. Number one, that's highly inconsiderate. So I also always think about that when I want to send an email to USCIS. Like, okay, I can find people in need like 3 weeks. I remember when I was talking to Ms. Albina, like, in the next 3 weeks, if you don't hear from them. So I give them time. And I think 21 days is plenty time. Plenty time. Depending on the situation, sometimes I give them a whole full month. But when something is like, this lady needs to go see her kids, the kids are displaced, they're in their home country, no one, their caretaker fell sick, she's bedridden. You've got a 15-year-old who's not taking care of a son, of a brother. So you can imagine why I had to send like 200 emails to them. And they came back and like, it's not necessary. But then again, if they didn't approve it yesterday, I would have sent another email probably yes, and like, it is necessary, So it just depends on what it is. And so that's what I'm saying. I know I play devil's advocate, but what is it that you wanted your lawyer to do that they're not doing? You call me no people. I mean, it was like, and not only did the person send me 8 emails in one day, they called the office like 4 times, texted. It was just ridiculous. How in God's name could not represent someone like that? You're going to drive me up the wall. Because, yeah, the job we have as an attorney is highly pressured. It's a highly pressurized job. Like, your brain is constantly moving and you still have a personal life. So, yeah, it is what it is sometimes. What can we say? Okay, I think I answered that question. Yeah, Ms. Sanctuary preaches about patience, but okay. Thank you, Ms. Peggy. I'm surprised I'm not even started drinking. I'm telling you. They're tired of me already. So, triple in fairness, because I know attorneys try. I know, because we've got groups where we bounce ideas against each other, or help one another. And I said, we have common issues with USCIs. We do try. Sometimes it's just nothing else an attorney can do. Sometimes we tell we'll contact the congressperson, or if when all else fails, gotta sue them. Because really, if we could go into USC and shake them up, and sometimes it's really frustrating, because these are people's lives. These are people's lives you put on hold. You've got an interview and then you're not making a decision for 4 or 5 years. Kilo day. People can't travel in peace because they don't know if you're going to deny their case while they're out. It's ridiculous for a country that is built by immigrants. Yeah. But anyway, I digress. I-130 approved, 601 received. My waiver is approved. So I'm confused. Is your waiver approved or not? A waiver is approved after November marriage. Waiver is approved. Will I get another into? So if your waiver is approved, why is your 485 now approved? You have to rephrase your question. Will working in a different state from your spouse affect your marriage case? It depends on the reason why you're away and how you present your case. So if you're working in a different state because you have to, and you're applying to get a job in the same state your spouse is in, or you guys are financially stable with that job in another state, but you're making it back to your marital residence as often as you can, then there shouldn't be any issues. Knock on wood, generate information. But if you have a lawyer, then you want to talk to the lawyer before you present your case. If I'm approved for parole in place, can I travel to the border and come back to Houston? You should generally, whoever is doing that should be able to do that. Generally, when it comes to travel issues, that's something that you must have an attorney to basically run that by, because I just don't get into that unless you're my client. Okay. So, Madam, hello, God's favorite person. So, we're in my I-45 since May and haven't heard anything, not even receipt. So, one thing that we've noticed, and some of my colleagues we're discussing that in our group chat today. Since June, USCIS has started slowing down again on receipt notices for whatever reason. I'm still, knock on wood, I'm still getting VAL receipt notices rather quickly, knock on wood again. But everything else is taking like 200 million years. Asylum cases, renewal, I don't know. And I was like, okay, so I had to be like, hey, anyone else having this? And some of my colleagues were actually having the same issue. So I don't know what it is. But if I would say contact the Lockbox and send them an email to the Lockbox email address and just find out from them what's going on. So, hola Inka, how are you? Let's see. And I'm so excited for my NIW clients that we've been waiting over a year with approval notices. Oh, well, not everyone is over yet because I have some cases approved August of last year, November of last year, 2 from this year so far. I'm actually really thinking about completely getting out of NIW because it's crazy what's going on now. But anyway, I digress. Okay, someone who just submitted renewal and yet, yeah, and then the frustrating part is, like, I have 2 clients now, asylum case and the asylum renewal pending. They're one of them, the employer's already asking for, the extension or proof that you filed an extension. We don't have anything to show besides, okay, it was mailed, it was delivered. So I'm not sure the kind of people they put in USCIS to work, because it's sometimes like, it's a different breed of people where you forget that these are human lives. People's lives literally are paused and halted because of decisions or lack thereof that is not being made. It is what it is. Okay. Let's see. All righty. Okay. So that makes more sense. Your I-130 is approved. A 601 is required. Okay. And I'm assuming you submitted that. So you were found to be inadmissible. So your I-45 wasn't approved. If my waiver is approved after November, my marriage will be 2 years. Will you get a 10-year green card or will you get another interview? I can't answer the question whether USCIS will schedule another interview, because even if you have an approved I-130 petition, they still reserve the right to bring you back for another interview prior to the approval of your I-45. I've actually been seeing that happen quite much more often now than before. So I can't answer that question. All right, people. Let's see. I think we got through. See, just for that one person that repeated a question on TikTok. Everybody else has been very, very helpful. Thank you for that. USCIS mistakenly denied my I-485 that I didn't have advanced parole before traveling out, which I have. Okay, so what's your question? So what's your question? What happens when your work authorization card is sent to your previous address? What do you mean what happens? You probably won't get it, and so you're probably going to have to refile. How long is the duration of I-360 application? 400 years. I mean, 40 and a half months might as well be 400 years. It is what it is, right? Basically, forever. That's what it is. So don't hold your breath. Travel the world. get advanced parole because you're going to be there for a while. Yeah. Is it possible your I-130 says approved on the website and you didn't receive the approval notice? It's possible, but keep in mind that because it's USCIS, it may be a glitch in their system. Hopefully it's not. But because of that happened to someone who did their case themselves, they got an approval. They were so excited. 6 months later, they didn't get anything. They now came to our firm, hired my services, contacted them. As you already know, they love to get emails from me. And every 2 weeks, actually, because we needed to know what's going on. Approval, they responded finally and said it was an error, that they were sorry, that it wasn't approved yet. So that day they updated their system. His vow was eventually approved, I think a year and a half later on. But that can happen. So if you have a lawyer, let your lawyer contact them and ask. Actually, vow petitioners can now call USCIS. You can call USCIS and actually get questions or answers to your questions when it comes to your vow case as well now. So that's possible for you to do. They're going to ask you a series of questions because they have to verify your identity. And I love that because, I was on the phone with my clients, even when your attorney. So even if an attorney calls on your behalf, this is the part I actually love. If an attorney calls on your behalf in the VAR case, USCIS will still not talk to your attorney because they don't know. They'll verify your information, but for whatever reason, they still require that VAR self-petitioner to be on the phone. That happened to me on Friday. So I had to I told the officer, well, I'm going to have to put you on hold because I did not have to. That was the first time. And luckily for me, my client was available. And so they had to ask him a lot of questions. I was like, that was impressive. But the good thing is we're able to call. And then once he verified and said, yes, this is confirmed your mailing address, your attorney's address, he had to confirm all of that from him before they could actually speak with me. So that was really impressive. And that gives me peace of mind that your information is safe when you call. So let's see. Okay, we're out of time now. Let me see what I can do. Okay. All right. Do I have to file for a work permit after applying for adjustment of status? If you want to work, yes, you don't automatically get a work permit if you apply for adjustment of status. So if you're not keen on getting a work permit, then you can wait till your green card is approved. If you want to work, then you have to file a 765. But I love this. This is seamless. You can see how we just go from one place to another, makes it a lot easier. But listen, I love that. I really, really, this is therapeutic for me. Y'all don't even know. Is it possible to invite my mom for American visa? My friend who is a citizen invited her twice and she was denied. I just got my PR and I'm thinking of visiting her now. When people say, okay, I want to invite someone to visit, the only thing you're talking about is you're sending them an invitation letter and they're giving them proof that you're going to be responsible for their room and board. It's still completely up to the consular officer to determine or decide whether the person is going to be granted a visa. So your invitation is great. It just shows the person has somewhere to stay and someone to stay with. It doesn't still help them to decide. And you may say, yeah, they'll go back and all that. But the applicant themselves has to be able to show that they have the intention to return to their home country. So really, an invitation letter is just that, yeah, I'm here. They're going to be with me and all that, but it doesn't determine whether they're going to be granted a visa or not. So you can invite her, but she still has to go through the interview herself and has to prove that she has strong ties to the country that's going to convince them enough that she'll return. So you're an LPR, so you can file for her now, so you don't have to worry about that. But if she's been denied twice, that doesn't determine whether the person gets a visa approved or not. But anyway, all right, people. I think on Thursday, we'll probably do an hour of questions. So that will give us enough time to take care of all of that. What about Social Security? Do we file for it after applying for Social Security? If you filing 485 and I-765, the forms themselves already have it where it would ask you that upon approval of your work permit, Do you want the Social Security Administration to issue your Social Security card? And so, as long as you check yes, once the work permit is approved, they will automatically send that to you. If you don't check yes, then you would have to go to your Social Security office to apply for one. Well, anyway, you're welcome, very very welcome. Absolutely, Cox fame. Thank you everybody for, because like I said, this is very therapeutic for me as well. It's relaxing. It's sharing knowledge. Like I love teaching because I was an adjunct professor for 4 years, 2016, 2020. Yeah. And then it's part of who I am. Go figure. Like my whole family, all my siblings are in the medical field. My mom, because my mom is a nurse. Well, she's a retired BSN nurse. My sister's a nurse practitioner. And my older brother is uh charge nurse. I don't know. My younger brother is a surgeon. Emily Kamorojo family. Emily Kamorojo. My ex-husband is a physician. Like I'm the one that I talk. That's my gift. I can't stand blood. Mm-mm. God help you if you're sick around me. No, like when my kids, that is on speed. That what do I do? But if it's to talk, I can talk. I would talk of a storm. Yeah, man, auntie, Ejo. But it is always, a blessing to share the information. And so, but if you need something in depth, that's where we have consultation options: 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour, 140, 210, $250, and we'd be glad to discuss your case with you. So long after this session, she will let you cook and Fanta. Well, if you haven't seen the video, you would know what that is, where that's coming from. Masa ni cook at Fanta. But mo di siya tuloy tebati siya dada maselesi. Gama siya anti only job mo ito anti ya stress po. But anyway, listen y'all, we thank God for as far as he has brought us this year. We know that he's not done with us yet. Don't listen to those. I was driving home from work today and I was like, there are more people who are looking, waiting and holding their breath to see you fall on your flat on your face. So I think I shared something like, make sure they suffocate, in the sense of don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. And the way you're going to make sure they suffocate is that you keep believing and trusting and holding on to God, because that is the most powerful weapon you've got. If you know and believe that he can't fail, there's nothing else we need. He can't fail us. And so those who think that they're going to discourage you from your goal, they want to discourage you from your blessings, and they're holding your breath, they want to see you fall on your face. Let them, let that breath they're holding, let them suffocate, because God is going to elevate you and make sure that you don't fall. He's going to make sure that we do not fail. But the only way we can do that is not to ever give up. Don't listen to the naysayers. Keep your focus on God. There is no record of failure with God. There is none. There is none. It's impossible for him to fail. And so even if things are not looking, shaping up and looking the way it should right now, because your neighbor got their case approved in 2 weeks, this person got their work permit. That's all great. Let's celebrate and rejoice with them. Celebrate with others so that once your turn, people will come to celebrate with you. But in spite of all of that, remind yourself that's their season. Your season is coming too. So keep that in mind, and also know that there's no how God is going to fail you. Hold on to that promise. And that's the days I'm like, you know what? I'm just not feeling it. Or things are just not going the way I'm planning or hoping. But I remind myself, there is no record of failure with God. And because there's no record of failure with God, it is impossible for me to fail. It may look rough right now, but I know that I have set my face, up on him. And because I have done that, I shall succeed. And by God, those who are waiting and holding their breath, thinking I would fall or fail, or you would fall or fail, let them suffocate. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you in